we're going to talk about the best listing building strategy to generate daily leads, because leads are the name of the game. I know some of you are like, well, we understand we want recruits, but it's like literally the top question I get. It's always to do with leads and recruiting, leads and recruiting, leads and recruiting. And then along with recruiting is duplication. So it's all of the combination of these different things. How do I get more leads? Please show me, show me, show me, show me. So I'm going to go pretty broad. Don't worry. And then after that, I'm going to go pretty specific and give you some new ideas for many of you. For others, it's going to be a reminder, and it's just going to get you refocused on what to do. We're going to start out with a couple things that are really, really simple to get you guys going. I know. If you've listened to my trainings, hopefully you're so sick of hearing what the number one income producing activity is, because it's talking to brand new people in this business. And I am going to say until the day I die, because it is so simple, but it's so critical and it's so important, and so many people avoid doing it. So the number one income producing activity is working in this business, talking to brand new people. If you aren't talking to brand new people, you are not working in this business. We got to keep it simple. So to do so, to talk to new people, we need to constantly be generating new leads. We need to make sure that we're list building. And there's lots of different ways to list build. We're going to make a strong emphasis on social media to teach you all exactly how you can list build and really just make this good stuff happen as we go. So the first thing is where to list build. Where are all the different places? So let's list a bunch of them. I know there's more, but let's just list some of the basics. Facebook. Now you got on Facebook, you got your personal profile. You've got on your Facebook along with your personal profile. Sometimes you're doing lives. Sometimes you're doing posts. Sometimes you're actually going to other Facebook groups. Maybe you've created your own little audience. Maybe you've created your own little niche. Maybe you've got your own specific, thing. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, that you said, okay, this is where I'm focusing on. Your business page. Now, business pages I used to be strongly against. Business pages I used to say, until you're making some serious cash, you're willing to invest in them with ads, do not invest in business pages. But that has started to change a lot more, because anytime you talk specifically about business, there are a ton of keywords that are flagged. Facebook does not want you promoting business. Now, of course, if you're an influencer, there are certain unicorn posts that just take off. But if you've noticed more and more, when there's mention of anything that's business related, sales related, there's less and less and less engagement, because Facebook is demoting it more and more and more, because Facebook's saying, look, you got to pay to play. We want you to go to the business page. And even on the business page, you're actually getting more exposure than you used to with business lingo content. So again, I'm not saying that every single person needs to start a business page. Okay, we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So don't feel like, oh, well, Rob's saying now I got to start a business page, and he just went over everything else. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to keep going on all this stuff? So the next thing, stories. Now, I've done several different trainings all on stories. If you've seen them, great. If you haven't, just check it out on my YouTube channel. And if you go check it on my YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button so you do not miss the latest and greatest trainings. But I've got a whole thing on specifically how to utilize stories, on how often you should post stories, and how you can utilize those stories, and how you can create a good story and ask questions and use the different features as you go, and all these different things that will help you out tremendously. So list building can happen through the stories, because these are people that you can, number one, you can post stories, upload stories, and people are interacting with you, but you can also comment and interact with other people and their stories. Where else? Birthday messages. There's so many different things that you can do with birthday messages. My good friend Fraser Brooks, credit to him, he'll create a dub smash where he sends it out because it stands out and it's unique. So he'll go use the app Dub Smash, where it's like hilarious, and you find like some birthday song, wish him happy birthday, and just sends that. Other people I know, things I've seen them do is, And this is what I taught was go send someone a birthday message the day before, if you can, their birthday, or the day after. Why? Because you're going to stand out more, and do it via Messenger. This is another great way, because you start thinking of, well, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to talk to, or I'm running out of people to talk to. You're not running out of people to talk to. You're running out of confidence for people to talk to. Think about that. You're not running out of people to talk to. You're running out of confidence. And so now it's, oh, I don't know anyone else. Let me give you an example. So I've spoken all over the world the last 3 years. And I've done this several times where I have people pull out their cell phones. And I tell them to mark every single person they've spoken to out of the 50 in the business in the last 6 months. And you can all do this. This is a list building challenge. And if they're in your business, they don't count. So let's say you got Susie and she's part of your business, she doesn't count. And let's say you go to the next person and it's Julie and you haven't talked to Julie about your business in 3 years, doesn't count. Who have you spoken to in the last 6 months? Almost without question, I remember one audience, I had 300 people in Australia. And of the 300 people in Australia, there were only 3 people that had contacted more than 10 of their first 50 potential prospects in the last 6 months. So I'm just giving you perspective that most of the time it's not the lack of people. Most of the time it's the lack of confidence. But I'm also going to teach you as we go on how you can constantly be front of mind for other people and be thinking about them as you're generating new leads and you're building these lists. Memories, another thing. You see memories pop up, and inside memories, it could be someone you haven't spoken to. They commented on yours, you commented on theirs. You start seeing in the memories where other comments as far as it goes inside of there, huge difference. So here's another tip before I go further on all the different ways and things. I'm visual. There's no set system that works. I've seen some people that are in their phones and that's what they use. I've seen other people, they got spreadsheets. Other people are using whiteboards. Other people are writing on pieces of paper. I have a massive whiteboard in front of me. This massive whiteboard I've had for 13 years. And what I did is I would take a sheet of paper, and what I would do with this sheet of paper is I would write down a list in the top right-hand corner. And it was a big whiteboard. So this list would always be full of a minimum of 30 names of people I was going to talk to. And then I would put in the middle, this was the hot list of the people that I had already spoken to. Now I'm visual. That may work for you. That may not work for you. But the key is you're making it so you're constantly thinking about who have I spoken to? Who am I speaking to? Who am I going to speak to? So that you can focus on the number one income producing activity as you go. Super simple. Okay. And don't worry, we're going to go through some things that some of you will not know and some of you will, but most of you aren't doing. Comment on other people's posts. This is a great way. Again, this is going to give you ideas of, let's say you love the post and someone commented on it and they're very similar to you. Well, great. This could be someone that could be a potential lead. You naturally connect with them. Look, everybody is pretty much. And I understand you got your niche and you got your audience, but for most of you, most of your products, almost everyone's interested. And it doesn't mean they're going to say yes, but I'm saying the benefits of what it can do for other people. Non-business related posts. Again, this is a great way just to engage with people. We want to create more exposure. We want to create more engagement. We want to create more value. All of these things add up tremendously. A couple other places: LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, right? Going crazy. All these different platforms that you have. Now, some of you are like, oh my goodness, I don't know where am I supposed to start? Or I'm already here, Rob. Should I shift to a completely different platform? This is one of my favorite pictures. My daughter was so excited. I told her I was going to do an ad, and she's like, well, can I be in it? And I'm like, sure, because I was having her take the picture of me. So she's wearing her unicorn onesie pajamas, and so she jumped in. So anytime the ad pops up for my book, I show this to her. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with all these options, here's the next part that's really important for you. Focus. What do I mean by focus? What I want you to do is I want you to start out with one specific platform. And I want you to focus on this specific platform. And I want you to be deliberate in your posting. So this is for basics. So if you're not already, you got to make sure you're deliberate. You got to add it to your DMO. Literally, you've got to commit to posting. I would recommend every single day. And if you're in other Facebook groups, sometimes you can copy content and you can post those to several other groups that fit. So let's say you're obsessed with Disneyland and you post something of, hey, I used to go to Disneyland, 5 times a year when COVID-19's over. Are you going to go if they require you to wear masks? Legit question, right? And then you're in 7 Disney groups. Well, great. You could copy and paste that, go post it to 7 Disney groups. So look, it's leverage. It's being deliberate in your posting, being deliberate in your DMO, your daily method of operation, creating the minimum goal no matter what you're going to post every single day, because you want to put more value out to the world. You want to put more value out to the marketplace. You want to make sure that people are thinking of you, that people are getting to know you a little bit better because, as I always say, niches to riches. People that don't like you, they're going to unfollow you, unfriend you, block you, but that's okay because your vibe attracts your tribe, and the people that like and love your content, you know what they're going to do? They're going to follow you. They're going to become fans. They're going to start to share your content. They're going to start to tag other people. So you're being deliberate and specific, and you stop worrying what everyone else thinks. They're going to judge you no matter what. They're going to judge you because you're too fat. They're going to judge you because you're too skinny. They're going to judge you because who's this person that thinks they're an expert? They're going to judge you no matter what. So you've got to stop trying to be someone else, and you got to step into that beast mode version of you. So yeah, you've heard it, value. I say blah, 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 because you're like, oh, like value. Literally, think about it. How can you provide so much insane value? Do you know how much I'm pushed with how many new trainings I'm trying to create and new insights and perspectives and things that I haven't specifically trained on? Yeah, there's some core things that I've trained on before always, but then like this training is completely new and there's going to be new things that I've never trained on. That's pushing me. That's the same thing I'm teaching you to do, is provide so much insane value. And somebody like, but I just don't, I don't know. Well, how do you know? You learn. And as you learn and discover new insights, you share those insights along with your perspective. So let's say, for example, intermittent fasting. I started it 8 years ago before intermittent fasting was a thing, and people made fun of me saying, what are you doing? Well, guess what? I learned a ton as I went, and I could have just kept sharing what I was learning and discovering as I went on what worked, what didn't work, what was hard, what wasn't hard, how I found the first 3 months it actually didn't lose any fat. I don't have much fat. But I ended up gaining strength and losing some fat through intermittent fasting, but I didn't see any results for 3 months. So I could have shared that along the journey. You shared the journey as you go. So think about, and the big one we're going to go into in just a little bit for those of you that want even more advanced. Who are you? What are you known for? Think about that. Now, it's okay if you're not known for something right now, but you want to be known for something. I can't tell you how many people that come up to me and they're like, yeah, I love how much Rob loves his wife, and he loves his family, and he loves God, and he is always specific to recruiting and social media, and he's joking around about how he's an introvert, right? And yeah, a lot of times social media guy or mastermind guy, but there's several things that go together. And think, when people think about you on social media that don't know you but have been following you for 6 months, who are you? Because think of the people that really stand out to you. She's the exercise gal. He or she is the social media guru. He's the realtor guy, right? You want to become the go-to guy or gal on social media so you can generate more laser targeted leads. This is going to help you to be able to list, build, so that you create this audience, niches to riches as you go. So as we keep going, this is the big one for you guys. And it's something that very few do. So repurpose content on multiple platforms. So now if you've gotten to the point where you're consistently posting on, let's just use Facebook as an example. So what I do now is I take sometimes the same piece of content And that same piece of content, now again, this is extreme. This is not where you're going to start, but I'm giving you an example. I take that same piece of content and I'll copy and paste it and take a solid image and post it to Instagram. So now I'm repurposing the same content, right, to generate more leads, to be able to build my list, to keep that list fresh on my whiteboard, right? I'm retired now, I'm a coach, but that's what I did. And you can all figure out what system works for you. So I would do that consistently. Then from Instagram, right? Then I would take as well that same content, and you can repurpose it if you feel like the wording needs to be changed a little for different platforms, do that. And I can take that content and I can put it on LinkedIn. Crazy. Sometimes some of that same content can be posted in a couple different Facebook groups. Sometimes some of that same content can be posted on my business page, but I'm going to put in a reminder in my phone. And a week later, I'm going to put on my business page because I don't know who saw it on my personal profile, and some aren't following, right? They're only following one or the other. Now, for me, what I've done is I've taken sometimes live videos that I do, and I take a live video and I turn it into a YouTube video. I turn it into a podcast. I turn it into a blog post. I know you're getting a little overwhelmed. I'm just giving you perspective. I turn it into an Instagram post, a written Facebook post. I turn it into an email that goes and sends out to everyone, all from one piece of content. It's a LinkedIn post as well. So if you guys want to go next level and you want to cast a much bigger net everywhere, then it starts with number one, just being consistent. And as you start to become consistent, I promise you what's going to happen is your content's just going to get better. It's going to get more deliberate. And you're still going to have some content that's good, some content that's bad. But eventually you want to be known to be that person, whatever that is. And you can pick, and you guys know I've done a lot of different brand strategy trainings, niches to riches strategies, different things like that that help you guys specifically to figure out your brand in a very simple way. But what you want to do is you want to get very deliberate on the things you're going to consistently talk about, whether that's 3 things always, 4 things, 5 things, and you always focus on those things. Now, they're not all the same, but at least one of them needs to tie into your business. That could be direct or indirect. It could be very direct. Let's say I'm talking about weight loss. It could be very direct to weight loss, or it could be a little bit more indirect. Maybe you want weight loss clients, but it's much broader of everything from how well you're eating to going to the gym to your top 6 tips for, overcoming, the Friday lull of not wanting to go to the gym or starting out your week right, whatever it is. I'm giving you ideas, but look, you get paid based on the value you provide to the marketplace. And too many times people are take, right? And it's like, who wants to join my business? Who wants to join my business? I'm not saying don't ask. That's the number one income producing activity. But what you want to do is you want to bridge that gap more so that people get to know you. And again, if they aren't blocking or unfriending you, that means they're probably starting to like your content. They're starting to warm up like, oh my goodness, if I ever did a home-based business, I'm following her. Oh my goodness, if I ever bought product X, Y, and Z, I'm buying it from this person. Oh, I think this product could actually work. Oh, wow. They start seeing results. Like, think about it. People are seeing ads. I mean, most of the time it's taking them 7+ times before they even buy. And ads, it's even longer with how many times they see it. So look at yourself as being someone as almost like a professional commercial on your social media. Now, don't get me wrong. Professional commercials, are they pitch? No. How do they generate leads? They're providing value. Sometimes isn't that completely just funny? And there's zero pitch at all? Like, think of the Old Spice commercials, right? They're just weird, funny, crazy, awesome. At the same time, I mean, they're like, you have to buy Old Spice right now. No. It's value through humor. Others are value through insights and tips and strategies. People are buying you. You are your own brand, even more so than your company, even more so than your products. And when you can learn that in a way that you don't feel overwhelmed, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know my brand. I can't. That's okay. Look, I didn't have any of these brand strategies when I started posting every single day years ago. I think I started posting every single day 6 years ago. I had no idea. I just did it. And once I committed to doing every single day, I started getting more consistent, more deliberate, and I figured it out. I'm just helping you to speed that process up to get more deliberate and more focused so that you can have more success as you're making it go. So what I want all of you guys to do is I want you to make sure that you're taking all of this stuff and you're finding ways, like, you know, Melissa, I know you feel like a broken record. I get it. But the thing you have to look at is how do I say this? So the best blog posts from these influencers, I didn't ever know this till I started studying it when I became a coach. What they do is they actually take their best blog posts, and a lot of times they just change the title and send it out to everybody again. That's it. Think about that. Because good content is good content. Think about your books that you've read, your favorite books. My question is to you with your favorite books. I bet you if you read that book 5 times, each time there would be a new thing that you completely forgot. And it was like, wow. So that's okay. That's part of it. I bet you with your favorite speakers or influencers that you watch, there's certain things you've probably heard 100 times. And so what you're doing is you're learning a little bit more as you go. You're learning a little bit more how to articulate it. And at the beginning, you know what? If it's bad, so what? Who cares? I look back at my first post where I was being consistent and deliberate. I can't even believe I thought they were good. They were so bad, it's embarrassing. But guess what? That's the only way I got good is because I failed my way forward. I failed my way forward. And if you can fail your way forward, you're going to figure it out. But too many people are worried about being perfect. And as they're worried about being perfect, they're never going to get it. So you have to decide, regardless of the platform, what your strategy is. So there's a couple different strategies. There's a 5-2 strategy. The 5-2 strategy is post 5 times. We're going to talk about personal profile, right? And as you're looking at personal profile, look, you decide what works best for you. But as you're posting in your personal profile 5 days a week, I would make sure you post something non-business related. Because again, you are your brand and people want to get to know you. 2 days a week, post about something that conveys your business or your products. Now you decide if that's more direct or indirect. An example. Let's say I've got a supplement that's going to help out somebody. Well, I don't have to necessarily go on those 2 days a week and say, buy my supplement. Instead, I could give, here's my top recipe for making the most healthy, incredibly delicious protein shake. I'm making that up, okay? You can figure out what works best for you, how to say it. Now it's like value, like, well, I want to know, right? And so I'm showing them the recipe for it. I'm providing value. The other day I could show that I'm going to the gym to work out. Why? Because that's providing credibility when I talk about supplements. Now, some of you are going to be more direct, where maybe you do the 5-2 strategy, but maybe once or twice a month, you're going to be more direct. Maybe you got a special sale. Now, instead of just saying buy 20% off, right? It's got to be still value, 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 right? What the benefits are, what the results are as you go. But that's what you got to do. And I get it. And I understand that sometimes where you're at. I get it. For me, I know when I specifically started, I was so scared to do lives. I was so scared to post. Let me put it in perspective. I had made an obscene amount of money over the course of my first 6 years in network marketing, right? I had tons more failures. We're not even going to go into those. My 5th month in the business, I made less than $400 for the month and I worked 80 hours a week. So lots more failures than successes. But at this point, I had made a ton of money. I hadn't had one post on social media my first 5+ years about business at all. Anything that even insinuated at all, because I was so embarrassed and because I was so paralyzed, not knowing what my strategy was, that I never started. Until I got to the point that I just committed to doing it daily, that's when I started generating more leads. That's when I started being more deliberate, right? That's when you can start utilizing stories and repurposing content. But it starts with step 1 of being consistent. Step 2 is repurposing. Step 3 is, if you're repurposing, can you repurpose to more places now with similar content as you go? And again, yeah, some people are going to be annoyed. So what? They're not paying your bills to achieve your dreams. So what? People are going to be annoyed, like, oh, I already saw that post on Facebook. Now I see it on Instagram. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to. So what? If you care that much, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're never going to achieve those goals and those dreams. I promise you, the fear of judgment is the hardest fear to overcome. It is the mother of all fears as you go. But I promise you, as you do it, you'll get better. You'll get more comfortable. You'll get more confident. It'll make a huge difference. So attention is the currency to marketing. So I'm giving you guys some secret sauce stuff for my next mastermind, a little sneak. I know several of you are listening and tuning into this that have been at my masterminds or coming to my next ones. But I was talking to someone who's absolutely incredible. She's watching this. And we were talking about attention. And I was talking about how attention is the currency to marketing. And she said to me, I just don't feel comfortable with gaining a lot of attention. And I said to me, oh my goodness, I that's how I grew up. I was the kid that, refused to speak in church, even when my church leaders showed up and it was taboo. And I was the kid that was naturally just soft-spoken. I was the kid that said, you know what? I don't want to get any attention. Hear this, because I just looked at his attention as just being an egomaniac. And part of it was because of my insecurities and how shy I was. And I didn't get it. So I asked this incredible individual, and she says, I know I'm coming to your next mastermind. And she's coming to the Sundance one. And I know, Judy, you're coming to the Pirates Cove one. We're going to have fun. But she says to me, she says, but can you help with this? And I said, sure. So I started asking her who the most inspiring people, and we listed a couple people I knew that were really inspiring to her, that she really looked up to, whether it was religious leaders, other influential people. And I said, do they get a ton of attention? Oh, yeah. Do you consider them egomaniacs? Well, no. Attention can create influence and impact on the world. So attention isn't bad, and some of you need to get over that. What you need to understand is you want a ton of attention. And I was like, no, I don't. I know. But that's actually ego on the opposite side. Ego stands for everyone's got one. Your ego ain't your amigo. If you aren't having any attention at all, that means nobody knows who you are and nobody knows your message. That means you have less influence, less impact on the world. And that means you are playing way too small. This has taken me a decade of focus to feel comfortable and confident overcoming. So the key is intention with attention. Intention, I-N. Because if your intentions are good, if your intentions are to influence and impact and to progress as a human being and to make a difference, then attention is great. It's the currency to marketing. Now, when I say be louder doesn't mean you got to get on and be crazy, right? It doesn't mean you got to get on and you got to be absolutely annoying. It doesn't mean any of that. The key is for all of you is to make sure that you've got the right intention. And I promise you, as you have that, you've got to get over it. Last couple things here. Russell Brunson, I love how he summed it up. He says, leverage the power of the internet, right? We're talking specifically social media right now. It's never been easier to build a list of prospects and explode your network marketing business. So a couple different things that he lists. Have an irresistible offer. Now, there's a lot of different directions we can go as far as irresistible offer. One of those directions that we can go for all of you is if you provide so much value, they're going to buy. Now, what do I mean? Look, if I'm specifically looking at, let's say I want to lose weight. I know I don't have any weight to lose, but let's say I had 30 pounds I needed to lose. I'm like, oh, I don't have, how much is it? Oh, it's $300. Well, if I truly felt like the value was there and I was going to lose the weight and it was going to give me my confidence and my self-esteem and my energy and my health, then it becomes an irresistible offer. But how do you do that? As he says, you've got to give before you take. So you've got to give so much insane value as you go, and you can all do this on social media, but I see people where it's just take, Take. Buy. Hey, do you want to buy 20% off? 20% off of what? Who cares? Right? People are paying full price almost always at Lululemon. Why? Because the value's so high, it doesn't need to be on sale. Think about that. Some of the best brands, they don't have things that are on sale all the time. A lot of times it's impossible to find some of these things on sale. It's not just about the sale. The irresistible offer is all about value. So give before you take. Ask them what they need. You're going to start to learn as you start being deliberate with your audience. Many of you seen, I've done the same thing. I've asked, what's the next thing you all want me to train on? I've asked, specific things. What do you want my ebooks to be on? I've asked different things. I just did for my next mastermind. I actually just did for my Pirates Cove mastermind it's for 6 and 7 figure earners. And I asked specifically which topics do they want. I actually have it here on my other screen. And so I've listed all the topics they want to cover and their favorite ones. And then I have their focus topics. Why? Ask. So the next thing is serve the 95% who don't join your business. So if they don't join your business, how can you serve them? Well, let's say they say no to you right now about your business or products, but they're still following on social media. If you're providing value consistently for a year, let's say you have 365 posts and they only see 50 of them. Do you think that's going to influence them? Do you think that's going to impact them? Do you think that's going to make a difference? Do you think that's going to chip away at the odds and percentages that they actually may say yes and they may join? May not be now, but we're playing the long game. And so if you want to generate more leads, I'm telling you, social media is the most powerful tool that you can use. But most aren't deliberate, right? Most aren't consistent as they go when they do this. Most don't understand that successful people just do the basics better. They're just not consistent with it. So all they do is new strategy. That's like climbing the mountain of, let's say the mountain of success. Let's call it Mount Everest. And you start climbing this one path and then you get up, let's say a couple hours, and like, that path looks better. So now it's new strategy, new path. Ooh, that path looks good. Now it's new strategy, new path. Eventually you've climbed up and down the mountain 10 times. If you would have just stuck to one strategy and one path, you would have made it to the top. I promise you this works. Now, yes, the money's still in Messenger. Yes, you still got to reach out to people. You can't just expect everybody to reach out to you and now your business goes crazy, right? You got to make sure you're still deliberate and consistent in reaching out to people. But now you've bridged that gap. Now it's going to make a huge difference for you. So my challenge for all of you is this. I want you to go out and be consistent where you're going to commit to posting every single day. If you're already doing that, the more advanced strategies are repurpose content and make sure you start utilizing stories more. Then what I want you to do is, we're breaking these all down, summarizing it into steps, is figure out your strategy for organization. Whether that's an Excel spreadsheet, whether that's a piece of paper, a planner, whether that's a whiteboard, whether it's a combo of both. I'm a combo of both. I have on my phone my to-do list every day. I've got right here like a ton of things on a piece of paper that I like to write them out and see them visually again. So you've got to figure out the system that works, and then you've got to stick to it. And you've got to create the minimum of what you're going to do every single day. How many new leads are you going to add every single day? How many new people are you going to talk to every single day? And consistently make this your focus. And I promise you, it'll make a huge difference for every single one of you. It is simple. It is powerful. It is the right route to climb that Mount Everest of success for network marketing. And if you do that, you'll start to find your voice. You'll start to communicate better. You'll start to generate much warmer leads, people that are attracted to your style and your vibe. And it's going to make a huge difference for you. So please, please don't just take this and say, yeah, that was good information. Take it and implement. Take it and become one of those storks. There's nothing that makes me happier when someone comes to me and tells me how they implemented one of my strategies that I helped them with, and I could play even a small part, because I know you all do the hard stuff, right? I can tell you, but the hard part is actually doing it. So go out, go do it, go make it happen, and then come share your success story with me.